basically, uh, this was inspired by a Facebook post, and there seemed to be a lot of veterans claiming that PTSD causes sleep apnea, and it's just not it's not true. In 2015, research was conducted on 195 Iraq and Afghanistan veterans with PTSD, and the study found that about 69% of veterans with PTSD are at a high risk for sleep apnea, which, as you know, if you don't already, is a sleep disorder causing a person to repeatedly stop and start breathing. This correlation between the two becomes even stronger when the study determined that an increase in the severity of PTSD leads to an increase in the probability of sleep apnea. Now, this one particular study has been used repeatedly by veterans, and mostly it's been unsuccessful. This study does not say that PTSD causes sleep apnea, and I have the example. And I'm going to just kind of pop in here while I'm talking, throw some comments in. So leave them in, say hi, ask questions. Aztec King and the Hundo Club. Hello, Lisa. What's up, Bad Chad? Outside in Michigan. We're going to leave the Hundo Club up. How's it going? So it doesn't say that PTSD causes sleep apnea. It says that veterans that are at a higher risk for sleep apnea. So it's a big difference. If you whoops, where's my stuff up? If you file a claim saying that PTSD is causing your sleep apnea, you basically are giving yourself less than a 50% chance of getting it approved. This guy's estimate. So this would the 50% standard is at least as likely as not. This would be less likely than not, less than 50%, right? So, and this is just going straight like you are already service connected for PTSD, and then you're saying my PTSD caused my sleep apnea. It's just a secondary connection. It's not that simple, but people are doing it like that. So just want to make sure that you're not doing that. And if you are, you probably already know it's probably not a good idea. What's up, Zeb? Shane? What up, Tom? So if you file with a nexus statement or letter saying that your PTSD is aggravating the sleep apnea, you have a much higher chance of approval. See the difference on that? Caused by, right? My sleep apnea was caused by PTSD versus saying my sleep apnea it was aggravated by my PTSD. So you have a much higher chance of approval, and it's all in the verbiage here. Any condition aggravated by a service-connected condition is rated just as if the condition was a direct service connection. So once you get it hooked up, you know, your obstructive sleep apnea was aggravated by your PTSD. Then you get your 50% if you have a CPAP machine. And VA lingo, caused by versus aggravated by. Actually, this one might be different because this decision was in 2015, but I just wanted to show you a couple things. And you can go to va.gov and you could read these Board of Veterans Appeals decisions. And I urge you to do so because this is what the decisions look like if you find yourself, if your claim gets denied and then you decide to go either with a higher level review or a supplemental claim, and that gets denied, then you're going to go to the Board of Veterans Appeals. And when you get there, it is all about the little words and the nitpicky words, right? It's all about that. As you're making your statements and stuff, say as little as possible. But now you're going to have a lawyer with you. I suggest that you get a lawyer at this stage of the game. And that's what they do is they argue words and they argue phrases and stuff like that. So your chances improve greatly once you get to the BVA. But you still need to have a good claim. If you did not build it on any medical evidence, you're going to have problems. So the issue, this is the way they lay it out. The issue: entitlement to service connection for obstructive sleep apnea to include is secondary to post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD). And it says who the VSO was, and then the attorney for the board, and then it goes into it just has this introduction thing. Finding of fact. Of course, I have the margins cut off, but I'm not going to screw with it because I'm going to probably screw the whole thing up and crash it. So sorry you can't read it all. But that's unacceptable. So I wonder if I could get the margins to scoot over it a little bit. Ooh, I'm getting it. I don't know if it worked or not. Yeah, that works. Perfect. All right, so finding of fact. The evidence is in relative equipoise as to whether the veteran's obstructive sleep apnea is related to a service-connected PTSD. Equipoise is the tie goes to the runner. So finding of fact is the veteran came up and he proved his claim up enough to run into a tie situation. Equipoise, tie goes to the runner. So I'm not going to go through every single thing on here. I just kind of bolded some of them. So conclusions of law. This is a legal thing. Everything you do with the VA, anybody you get to help you with your claim or whatever, your VSO, it's all legal stuff. And if you ever need to challenge it, this is where, I mean, I'm not saying it's less legal now, but this is where it's going to end up in front of a court, Board of Veterans Appeals. If you lose there, you go to Court of Veterans Claims, I think it's called. So it is law, so keep that in mind. So the criteria for service connection for obstructive sleep apnea is secondary to service-connected PTSD have been met. And speaking of obstructive sleep apnea and sleeping, I should probably just pop back over here. How you doing, boy? Mister. What you doing, Clyde? Hey, you don't have any sleep apnea, do you? You big boy? Okay, go back to sleep. I'll quit messing with you. All right, back to the thing. This is fun. I'm kind of digging this little setup I have here. Goes on to talk about the duty to assist. Talks about service connection for obstructive sleep apnea. Secondary service connection is warranted for a disability that is proximately due to or the result of a service-connected disability. Very specifically worded, and that's what I'm talking about. The words matter a lot. And as you go down here, I'm not going to try to do that. Screw it up. But down a little bit more in that same paragraph, it says, proximately aggravated by a service-connected disability. And that was Allen v. Brown. It goes on to say the veteran claims entitlement to service connection for obstructive sleep apnea as a secondary to a service-connected PTSD. For the following reasons and basis, the board finds that service connection for sleep apnea is warranted on the basis of aggravation. And this is covered under 38 CFR 3.310, paragraph A. So aggravation versus caused by. Like this is literally the argument here. So if you're saying caused by, you're getting close, but close isn't going to get it if you have to go actually fight this in a legal argument. And I don't mean you, I mean you hiring a lawyer and that whole thing taking 2-3 years or whatever. In this regard, the veteran is service connected for PTSD. He has a current diagnosis of obstructive sleep apnea. Let's see what else I wanted to outline here. The veteran does not assert that his obstructive sleep apnea is caused by PTSD. That's right. So the veteran did not assert that his obstructive sleep apnea is caused by his PTSD. So there's the caused by part. And then up in the other one is warranted on the basis of aggravation. Rather, in his May 2013 substantive, can't pronounce it, appeal, he asserted that his obstructive sleep apnea is aggravated by PTSD. So his argument was consistent. Consistency is huge. You want to make sure if you're filing, like, look at this claim. This decision's in 2016. So May 2013, he filed an appeal. So I don't have the original date, but let's just say it's 2011, 2012, or something like that. So you are going to forget details. So keep a copy of everything that you're writing down. You know, your personal statements. You could go look in your blue button medical records for your VHA records and see if there's anything in there that you were taken out of context, if that could be relevant to a claim or appeal. Keep notes and know where to go get this stuff. So when you have to actually go spit this stuff out, you have it. You've reviewed what you said. You know, it's not like you're cheating. You said it. You might have said it a little bit differently in another statement. I know that my PTSD stressor had a little variance in verbiage. You know, when I didn't know what I was doing, I wrote too much verbiage. I said the same thing, but really I just needed to focus on one stressor, and I think I put like 5 in there. So things like that. So I shortened my stressor statement, my, what is that, 0781, on my PTSD claim, and I just did one stressor because that's all you need. So I went and looked at the verbiage, made sure that everything was right, and definitely go get your VA claims file. I will put a link. Where's the little thing?